Good evening, everyone. If 25 years ago, I think it was, 1999, I was 22. I saw the movie Matrix for the first time. I couldn't even imagine that one day I will sit here and speak about this movie 25 years later. It's a weird experience. Yeah. So usually what I do open talks and people ask questions and we talk about different topics. Mostly I dedicate my life to research the concept of improving quality of life. So today the angle will be from the perspective of the matrix, and maybe the first question that needs to be asked, what is the meaning of the word matrix? Yeah. Patrizia. Yes, in the... anyone else? There is many different ways to understand this word, and the reason I'm saying this, because I think this is the foundation for this entire talk. I will try to present my perspective on it. I'm not going to try to convince you that your perspective is wrong. There's probably various different perspectives for understanding this word. And I'll start by saying something very simple. If someone is standing in the middle of the room now and is starting to scream, some of you will get scared, some of you will start to laugh, some of you will get angry, some of you will just stare at this person and have zero emotional relation to it. And my question is why? Why everyone has a different perspective, a different relation to what is happening, though that we all see the same thing? Different? We are conditioned differently. Yeah. We have different past experiences. So we have different information that we are basing the way we see things. But there is a system inside of me that creates this perspective. Like when I look at you, you're ugly, you're beautiful, you're good, you're bad. I'm scared of that. There is a system inside of me that is creating the image that I see in front of me. This system is so sophisticated that it's not just creating an image as a visual image, it has also smells and tastes and sounds. And this system is creating the movie that I see in life. And essentially, this is the matrix. The system that creates the movie that I see. So, first of all, one thing that I will say, the matrix is essentially empty. And it's basing the picture that it's presenting us based on the information that we have inside of us. So, in a way, the technology of the matrix, this algorithms that creates this picture, is an identical algorithm in all of us. There is no difference. But there is a different information that's being used in order to process and to create the image that we see. So what does it mean to be free from the matrix? Yeah? Again? To see the reality as it is. Well, I'm just more confused now because, believe me, I think he's ugly. And this is the truth. You see, it's like, it's a difficult thing. So yeah. I'll try to demonstrate it. I usually need 2 hands for that. Come for a second. this. Hold the microphone so I can speak. No, I want to speak. Yeah, good. Okay. So this is your mind and emotion system, yeah? Okay? You know this one? Does it stop moving? No, it's always moving. Okay. And this is you. Yeah? And this is your life. So what is happening is essentially that your emotions are constantly moving, yeah? And you holding your emotions and your thoughts, and you are attached to them, as it appears that this is one. There is actually not a possibility to think that this can move while I'm staying here in the middle, while this is moving. Yeah? What I mean is that the movie can be played in the screen, but I can stay in the middle observing the movie without being moved by the movie. Are we on the same page? I'm starting to lose it. The matrix is complicated. So what is happening is the matrix in me is projecting the movie. My entire lifetime, I was attached to this movie. And so I believe that this is the truth. Getting free from the matrix is being able to be in the position where I'm sitting here, I'm seeing the movie, flat. I'm in stillness. So if now what I see is ugly, or what I see is evil, or what I see is bad and negative, or I hate it, or all of this monkey mind movement that we have inside, it still lives inside of me, it's still being played, but I'm not holding on to it. And so breaking free from the matrix is my capacity basically to step back. And essentially the entire reality of meditation and all of those practices is to train us to be able to do just that. If I will be able to do just that, I will be free from the matrix. So if anyone here practice meditation or is doing psychedelics and stuff like this, you probably have witnessed yourself sometimes just watching the movie in kind of a very still perspective. And then a second later, or a minute later, I'm back inside. It's like, I sit back, I'm watching the movie, and I'm kidnapped again into the matrix. And so we are falling in and out into the matrix, into holding on to the matrix. Yeah? Now, I want to talk about something that might be a little bit controversial. I just forgot to say at the beginning, trigger alert, trauma alert, warning, all of this. I might say things that you're not going to like. I have a tendency to say annoying things. Not intentionally, but it's happened. So I want to talk a little bit about this getting out of the matrix concept. Is sometimes we're falling into believing in, and now I'm coming from my own perspective into a topic, so you don't have to like it, it's okay. I was living a normal life in my life, going to school, university, getting a degree, finding a job, and living the 9-to-5 reality while continuing working all night and in the weekends and all of these things, and I was trapped inside the matrix. Yeah? That's what we're actually mostly referring to. Those people, they're in the matrix. Yeah? That's the common use of this word. Usually that's how we say. And so, us, the lucky people here in Copenhagen, we managed to break out of the matrix. Yeah? We quit this life and we went to live another life. Yeah? And now, Now what we're doing? We are trapped by the matrix again. And we never really left the matrix. We were in a delusion that we left the matrix. Because the matrix is not a 9-to-5 job. It's not the government. It's not the conspiracy. It's not the evil people that are trying to control us. The matrix is the system that lives inside of me, who present me the picture, and I'm hooked into this picture. Now you can live inside Kopangan and be on the beach all day long and living in horror of your own matrix. Yeah? So I'm talking about this because there is a lot of talk in society that if you are against the government and you don't take vaccine and you don't believe in the food industry and I don't know whatever other else conspiracy that we have, that I believe to all of them, by the way, but that means that I'm outside of the matrix, which actually is not. I'm just projecting a different picture in front of me and I'm holding to that picture. Maybe I'm feeling better about this picture than I felt about the picture before. Just to remind you that most of your life you felt very good about the picture before. Just one day you woke up and decided that that picture is not a good picture, and so you made up a new picture, and now you're saying the previous picture was bad, and the new picture is good. So I'm out of the matrix. But actually I just changed the picture, and I'm still hooked into the picture. So breaking out of the matrix is not a physical or an outer experience. Breaking out of the matrix is being able to be in the middle of the storm, standing there, feeling peaceful, in harmony and quiet. Now, I'm not saying that if you only 100% of the time sitting in that position, that means that you're out of the matrix. I'm just saying that it seems like we are falling in and out of holding on to the matrix. And the more we practice things like meditation and other practices, it's easier to step back and not to hold on to the picture that we see. Yeah. Okay. I will say that the question that maybe might rise around this is, how can it be easier for me to break out of the matrix? Yeah? So the more I'm aware to the phenomena has less effect on me. So in a similar way, I will say that if someone is going to jump from the side on me now, like, yeah, I'm probably going to jump. If 10 minutes later you will do it again, my reaction will be a little bit less. After 20 times that he's doing this, I will totally ignore it. Yeah? It's like something you become familiar with cannot take you out of your center. It's like the familiarity with the experience allows you to just be with the experience. So when we start to understand what I like to call the technology of the mind, the way our mind is operated, the way our thoughts are being created, the way, what is the purpose of emotions in our system? Yeah? Because it's part of the matrix. When you're feeling angry, sad, that's the matrix is creating a picture for you. When you understand why the matrix is creating this picture for you and what is this sadness or what is this anger, suddenly it's very easy to be with sadness. It's very easy to be with anger. So I can feel anger, I can experience anger, I don't need to fight with anyone. Like, for example, if I just understand that my emotional system is like signs on the street, like a stop sign, like railroad ahead, like don't drive above 50. Your emotional system is like the signs on the road. Every time that you experience an emotion, it's a signal for you to see something. Now, when you have an emotion and you get into the emotional activation, you cannot see what's really going on. So when you start to learn to do this and to observe your emotions and to listen to them and not just follow them, just be aware. So suddenly those emotions will transfer to something different. They will evolve. Like new messages will come. New information will reveal itself. So you will be able to improve your quality of life and essentially be more free from the matrix that is presented to you. So, anyone wants to ask a question? You can ask. I'm just don't know how much to talk. I have the tendency to talk and not to stop. And I don't know if you came to hear me talking or to see a movie. So, yeah.
Yuval, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Would you say that? Hello. Would you say that this metaphor of the matrix has a certain programming, with programming be a way to kind of add on to that metaphor, and the methodologies that you spoke of, like meditation and other methodologies, are ways to change, break the programming?
So, yes, and to elaborate a little bit more is like think that you have the basic program, that we all have the same program, which is essentially the metrics, and there is the lines of code, the programming that were added on top of it. So essentially, the more you do this work, this delusional code that was written that tells you now that I am the enemy, for example, or I'm evil, will start to fade away. So I want to even emphasize something even more specific. Even if those lines of code will never disappear, meaning that every time that I see someone with a red shirt, I will get activated. That's my trigger. Red shirts. Okay, that's what I live with. And I do meditation, and I do all the practice, and I do all the psychedelics, and I've drank all the medicines in the world, and all of these things, and still red shirts is like a trigger. I still think that we have still the capacity, even if this is rising inside of me, to be able to sit and observe it. And that's something that I think it's profound in the realization of some people who call it the healing journey or the self-development journey. I don't need to be clean from all of my conditions. It's an endless job that might not finish in this lifetime, and I don't know how many lifetimes you need in order to clean every story that you believe in. But if you can be focused on the fact that there is a field in front of you, and there is things moving in the field, and you are not the things that are moving in the field, you are the field, which things moving inside, and it's okay that the things are moving there, and to accept that there are things moving in your field, and learn to do nothing about this thing, the things that are moving in the field will not have any control of you anymore. So, yeah, maybe some of this programming will dissolve. And I do think that you all experience in some way that some of your programming is not bothering you anymore. But I think it's a false premise to pursue it. Though that probably some people will disagree with me, I'm just a very lazy person. I'm really lazy. I work very hard to be lazy. So I'm trying to find a modality that if I focus on it, it will solve all the problems instead of me trying to fix every problem one by one, which is more of going one line of code, one line of code, one line of code. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be loud.
Okay. You can do it. You have the voice.
I should. So although there might not be a repair for everything, but believe that in the awareness of it, we're like closing the gap. Like you said, we may not close the gap completely in this lifetime on everything, but just this ability to be the observer allows you to kind of, you know, you recognize you've done something, and then it takes you a month to kind of figure it out, and then you recognize it again, then it takes you a week, and then you recognize it again, and then it takes you a day, and then you recognize before you change the pattern. You know what I mean?
I agree. And I want to add on top of this that there might be even a greater shortcut.
Yeah.
I'm representing now a specific concept that is said something like awareness. And when you practice awareness and you understand the meaning of this, or presence, or whatever word, presence, yeah? The training itself brings you to a place that the content is not relevant anymore. Rather than I'm getting better to be with a specific content and processing it as we would picture as a normal healing process from a trauma. It's coming to a place of understanding that maybe I can practice one core skill, which is that. This is the movie and this is me, yeah? And I'm watching the movie. And then it's not important what is the movie. I will elaborate something else which might put more light on it. That's the movie, yeah? That's me. And that's how I live my life. So when me holding the movie, how strong is the grip? Yeah? How strong are you really holding this? Because the less tension I put in the holding, so it's easier to step back. Yeah? Without going to the whole theory, now I'm doing sales. I'm going to sell you the next version, the next project. So without telling you the whole theory, the strength of the grip that you are holding on to the Matrix movie, it's the accumulative amount of tension that you carry inside your system. And the accumulative amount of tension that you carry inside your system is the sum of all the things that you believe that you need to resolve in this lifetime. Mommy does not like me, the friends have abandoned me, my shirt is not nice, and so on, so on, so on. All the stories that happened to you, even before you remember. And each one of these stories is holding some capacity of tension. And the sum of all of those stories, all of this tension in all of these stories, is the strength of the grip that you have on the movie that is being displayed in front of you. And the work I'm inviting you to do is basically learning to be with the content, such as we do in the practice of inner walk. We're walking between two walls and allowing the mind to talk. And by learning to be with the mind talking and doing nothing about this, the tension in the story starts to break down. So the grip is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. At some point, there is no more tension that is holding the matrix. And then if I reach this point, a disaster is coming, hitting me from the back. And again, I have tension in my system. And I'm inside there again. So we are not immune from anything, but we can practice. So we do like boot camps, like the 4 days that we go to inner walk, or we do 1 hour a day of practice. And when something new is hitting me, it might raise the level of tension in me. It might create more of that inside of me. But then when I go back to the practice, this tension will be released again and I will come back to this place. So as a human being, the invitation for you is to be trained in this process. Getting into tension, learning to be with tension, walking with it, breaking the tension, getting free, and continuing life. A new tension is coming in. Okay, we already know what to do. And so now my training is working for me and I can continue to navigate life. Some will say that it would be nice if you will observe not to get too much tension inside the system. But still, you cannot be protected from it. Yeah? There is natural disasters, there is wars around the world, there is things that are affecting us directly and indirectly that we cannot control. So trying to avoid tension, it's also an illusion. It requires a lot of tension to avoid tension. Yeah? So the work is around the tension. Yeah.
I have a question. So I believe there are certain people they know and they can deprogram other humans, but how come now in society they've been blocked, like certain knowledge is being blocked really from being exposed that actually can help people crack the matrix?
And that's based on your own metrics.
No.
It's the absolute metrics.
No, meaning to help to survive in the matrix, like
Yeah.
the cheat codes and the
I'm
knowledge is getting.
I'm wondering if what I'm supposed to answer is why they are being blocked,
Yeah.
or if
Now-
I can reveal their cheat codes so you will know them.
No, meaning why are they blocked?
I'm thinking it's a little bit off topic. I will just say one thing. If you have the cheat code, how to get out of the matrix, and your heart is pure, and you want to share it with everyone, and still you're being able to trigger a lot of people, that causes a lot of tension coming to you and blocking you from showing up in public, maybe you don't have the cheat code. I don't know. I'm just saying that we're all trying to navigate something, and we're all trying to do it in the best way that we can, but sometimes it doesn't work the way we think it works. And yeah, I hope it's good enough for now. Yeah. Okay. Any last words before we see the movie? I'm just wondering, is there someone lucky enough in this room that he didn't see this movie? You're very lucky. You're very lucky. Because I will say something like this. This movie at 1999, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not good in facts and memory, 99, it was considered, I think, the most expensive movie in that was created, and special effects, and it was like a groundbreaking movie in the way it was created. And so it's really good, it's really made up in a very good way. For someone who is investing every waking hour of his life in understanding this technology of the human experience, I think it's one of the most brilliant presentations of the concept, though that it's a concept cannot be presented. It can only be experienced. So I think it's one of the best possible presentations that I've ever seen for this concept. So I think it's a brilliant movie in many levels. So I wish you enjoy it. Yeah, as we're finishing, any last thing? The passport of Neo. You know that it was today. If,
Passport expired on September 11th.
yes.
September 12th, today. 2001.
Yes. So we are celebrating his passport. Yeah. Yeah. So I will just share something like this. If anyone wants to continue this journey in more experiential level, like this was very theoretical, but if you really want to experience this on a deeper level and really finding ways to improve your quality of life and be less identified with your own suffering, if it makes sense, because suffering is part of the concept that the matrix is presenting in front of us. Yes, and breaking out of suffering is essentially the same as breaking out of the matrix. You're more than welcome to stay in contact in all the platforms that we have, specifically Inner Walk. It's a beautiful practice that you can do. And if anyone wants to dive into a 4 days journey, you can join us in School of Life in Monday. I don't know how to refer you to that, but Yaniv, School of Life, we're also going to be doing this. I'm going to participate in this workshop as well, and co-working with Gita, that my colleague and my teacher in this path. So you're welcome to join us for these 4 days. And I think we're going to continue talking after the movie, I think. Yeah? Thank you. Enjoy the movie.